You walked into the conversation with one simple question. Maybe it was about a missed text or a small grievance that had been sitting in your chest for 3 days. 20 minutes later, you are standing in the kitchen, completely exhausted, apologizing for something you did not even bring up. The original question is somewhere on the floor, unanswered. Your first instinct in that dizzying aftermath is to blame yourself. You think you failed to find the right words, or you assume the other person is simply terrible at communicating. Clinicians have a specific name for this experience: word salad. The phrase was first used in the early 20th century by a Swiss psychiatrist named Eugene Bleuler to describe the highly disorganized, jumbled speech of patients experiencing severe psychosis. The modern version of word salad, the kind that derails a Tuesday night argument over dinner, is very different. It appears disorganized on the surface, but underneath, the chaos is highly intentional. The confusion is camouflage. You are dealing with a tight, finely tuned machine built to do exactly one job: ensure you never get an answer to the question you walked in with. This machine does not run on random emotion. It operates using 5 specific moving parts designed to weaponize your normal, healthy conversational reflexes. The first gear is topic switching. You raise a concern, and within 2 sentences they pivot entirely, usually to a grievance about you. The pivot happens so fast that your brain naturally tries to address the new topic out of sheer politeness. The moment you address it, your original question is dead. Then there is circular logic. You ask why they made a decision without you, and they respond, "Because when I tell you things, you react in a way that makes me not want to tell you things." The premise contains the conclusion, and the conclusion explains the premise. You exhaust yourself trying to find an entry point into a sentence that simply loops. Next is goalpost moving. You meet their stated condition, and a new one instantly appears. You are too quiet, so you talk more. Now you are dominating the conversation, and you are forced to chase a standard of behavior that shifts the exact moment you reach it. The fourth gear is semantic shifting. Words actively change meaning mid-fight. Always becomes sometimes. I said becomes I never said. The definitions move around specifically to make you start doubting your own memory. The final gear is DARVO: deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. You bring up a harm, they deny it, attack you for mentioning it, and by the end, your hurt has been pinned directly on you. Researcher Jennifer Freud found this tactic is so effective, it even works on third-party observers who consistently judge the actual victim as the aggressor. Manipulators will mix and match these 5 gears based on their personal preference. But the mechanical output is exactly the same every single time. You end up apologizing, and their accountability quietly evaporates. Why would a human being build a conversational machine like this? Why create a game that cannot be resolved? The answer lies in mismatched motives. You entered the argument seeking to be understood. They entered the argument seeking to make sure nothing they did has to be examined. They are not trying to convince you of anything. They are trying to outlast you. In 2019, sociologist Paige Sweet published research on gaslighting, explaining that this kind of manipulation requires a very specific type of fuel to keep running. That fuel is leverage. The tactic shows up relentlessly inside intimate relationships, family dynamics, and workplaces, because the manipulator holds enough social or structural power over you that walking away comes with a severe cost. Without that leverage, you would simply leave the room the 3rd time they move the goalpost. The word salad machine does not exist in a vacuum. It feeds entirely on your structural inability to walk away. When someone runs this machine on you repeatedly, your nervous system learns the painful cost of asking. You start pre-editing your thoughts. You shrink your requests. Over time, you slowly narrow what you are willing to bring up at all. That permanent self-censorship is their ultimate win condition. You cannot out-argue the machine. You cannot reason it into shutting down. You can only starve it of the fuel it needs to run. The first way to starve it is to anchor reality. Before you open your mouth, write your specific question down on a piece of paper. 1 sentence. When the topic inevitably switches, you do not have to search your memory for the original thread. It is right there in your pocket. The second step is repetition. When they throw a redirect, wait until they finish and repeat your written question verbatim. If they deploy a circular loop, wait and say the question again. Usually, by the third repetition, the engine begins to fail because it relies completely on your willingness to engage with the distraction. The third step is the hardest. You have to be willing to leave the conversation without an answer. The original wound is still there, and you naturally want an acknowledgement. But staying in the room hoping to extract an honest apology from a fog machine is the exact mechanism that traps you. Winning this interaction does not look like a logical victory. There is no scoreboard, and there is no moment where they suddenly concede your point. True victory is recognizing the distinct, heavy texture of the air when the machine turns on. Once you feel that difference, you do not need to win the argument. You just stand there, calmly, and choose not to step inside the fog.